Welcome to Warren 2009 Fantasy Football, the show.
Hey, and welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, Robbie Heiser. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you, my guy?
We are doing okay. Most of us are doing okay. We have you coming on as a guest host. Very much appreciated.
Of course.
Louis had to step down today. He's got a couple of other things to take care of. So, well, thank you for filling in the spot, filling in the role.
Always.
We got a lot to cover here. We hit guaranteed money. It's super exciting. Super exciting stuff. We're mixing things up here a bit, so I'm glad that you're on and trying to try out new things with me.
Yeah, of course. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And so, without further ado, let's jump right back into that Week 9 recap. Let's see what happened last week for our league. What do we got this week?
Right. Yeah. So we'll start with my game. Game of the week. You guys keep on doing this to me, and I appreciate it. 4-0 in game of the weeks this year. I took down White Girls, 117 to 108.
Okay.
Moving down, we have more bench points, continually scoring a ton of points. I mean, you got Dalvin Cook on that team running over people. It's going to happen. He took down Where Art Thou Julio, 168 to 123.
Yeah.
Moving from there, actually, to the second highest scoring team, you got ReceiversOnly.com. Really showed up this week and took out Lamb of God, again, with one of those scores that could have won it some games, but didn't. You know, his team has, some rough luck there.
Yeah, Louis continuously texting me almost every week, like, why does this keep happening? Oh, always.
I think I looked at his points against, and it's like 1,200 points or something. Yeah. He's getting outscored by 200 points, and he's over 1,000. You know, you don't have all the teams doing that. It's crazy. So, then we move on. Let's do a Gaskin for a friend. Taking down Flacco for 2, newly named there. That's 101 to 98. I swear I thought the Patriots are going to blow this thing for him.
Yep.
And 0 points going into that last final few minutes, and they showed up. You know, they needed a couple. They got him a couple.
Flacco showed up for the wrong team. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that is true, man. He looked good, though. I thought the Jets were going to win. They really kind of Trevor Lawrence that.
That's fair.
So, and then the final game, I don't want to spend too much time on it because it sucked. You got hunted down. You good, sir?
Somehow.
Yeah, taking over kicking Butker's. That's the lowest score of the season now, right?
New low score. It seems like everybody wants to one-up each other here. New low score, setting the bar right there. But it's, it's just how it goes. Danny, we know that your team has been taking some hits. It's it's sad to see. You got such great names, and it's sad to see. I don't know what to say any more than that.
Yeah, it's really tough. You had a lot of potential, and I mean, your top few picks haven't even played. It's crazy.
Yeah. So go ahead.
It's insane that Patrick Mahomes has scored more points in a week than Danny's team just did.
Ooh, a couple of jabs in there. But it's true though. It's true. I mean, we almost saw Kyler Murray do the same thing last week. Quick note here, since we're on this recap, since we are now down 9 weeks down, we have an 8-1 team, bench points, and they got that lovely little asterisk next to their name already clinching a playoff spot. And they are the only ones thus far. Everybody else, it's still up for grabs. So, best of luck moving forward. It's going to be a well-fought battle for everybody else except more bench points. You can technically just bench the rest of your team if you feel like, Dale. That's fair.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Quick recap on the pick'ems. Louis and I differed on 3 games. We got some right, got some wrong. Louis jumped up one more spot. I've got 24 out of 45. He's got 22 out of 45. So, Louis,
pretty close.
We're getting close. If you're watching this one here today or tomorrow, whenever I decide to post this, I'm down for an end of season habanero bet since this is now getting interesting. I'm liking this. But with that being said, we have Dale's Dirty Picks coming at you somewhat live. Dale could not be with us live today. He's got a couple of other things going on. It's been a really weird year, 2020. So what he decided to do, and I like this approach, he didn't have time to film. So he sent us over a PowerPoint.
I like it.
And he's just going to briefly touch upon some of these games. And the quick note that he wanted to point out here, actually, I'll wait till I bring it up. I got to do my screen share abilities. With Dale's Dirty Bets, after some technical difficulties here, we're going to go ahead and touch upon some of the games that he talked about last week. He also wanted to make a note here, but I'll get to that in a second. If you bet the line the way he was talking here on Green Bay and San Francisco, you made some money last Thursday. He also talked about the Bears in Tennessee. I believe, if I can remember right, he took the under on that one, and he made some money because it was absolutely right. Seattle and Buffalo, I mean, that was a game. That was a game. It was a great game, but that was a little bit of a miss on Dale's part. Raiders and the Chargers, that was also another great game that we talked about there. If you bet his way, you made some money. Bucks and Saints, I mean, who would have thought that they would have hit the under on that and it would have been all New Orleans? Geez, nobody saw that one coming. And then you got Patriots and the Jets. That went through everyone for a loop as well.
Yeah, good game.
Ended up being a great primetime game there. So he also wanted to make a note here that, he went 3 for 3 on this screen. But if you listen to, because we also briefly talked about the Cardinals game last week and how he was very interested in that. We briefly touched upon it. He hit on that one. So last week, he's technically 4-3. Okay.
I like it.
All right. So we got a couple of upcoming matchups this week that he wanted to talk about. Always talking about Thursday night game. We've got Colts at Tennessee, which that could always help. We got the spread here. Hold on a second. I cannot do this here. I really want to make this big because he had the whole animation and everything ready.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think I can.
No, it wasn't showing. You're picking the Titans there on that spread. I mean, he's giving you 4. He's giving you the one that he's going to want you to choose over anything, and that's that Titans at the -2.5. If I were to look at this, I'm not in his head, but I would probably go like under on the over-under, and I'm sure he's just highlighting the one that
he would pick on.
Yeah, that he's going to pick the most, and I think I agree with him. But I also, if you wanted to try something else, I would go under this game. As you move over again, I think that's a good line for. We'll talk Houston, Cleveland.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good line right there. The over/under 54.
Yeah, Houston's not really great on defense. Yeah. You got the potential of Chubb coming back. You're gonna have a 2-headed monster. Baker is clear of COVID. He's been much better without Odell.
Yep.
I definitely see this game going over. So I'm with Dale on that one as well. Again, he's highlighting that.
Yeah.
Going over to, let's do Chargers, Dolphins.
Yep.
Yeah, and he does a good job kind of highlighting what you're looking at. Definitely like where he's going with the Dolphins. I think this game's a little bit better than most people are going to give it credit for. They see a couple teams that are heading in the right direction, I would say. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a pretty good game. I would also add, my personal thought would be take the over on this. I think there's going to be a lot more scoring than people think.
48, yeah, probably.
And then Seattle, and then Los Angeles. Sorry, so this one's always tough for me because this game can go so many different directions, and it always has.
It's a huge over/under. Holy fuck. 56.
Yeah, I want to see if that moved at all. Sorry. You do want to talk about what you would do on that real quick?
I think so. He's got Seahawks at the money line. He's betting that. It's probably with the way Russ is cooking, it's probably a safe bet there. God damn, I'm really interested if it still is 56 and a half because that's a hell of a lot of points. I know Seattle's defense is really terrible, so and the Rams have formidable offense that can move the ball, when need be. Betting the money line at 115, it's probably just the safe bet.
Yeah, you're picking Seattle there.
Yeah.
I think they come back, have a good game after getting honestly pretty stomped by the Bills. So yeah, I agree with that as well. I would pick them to win that game. So.
All right. Well, we'll move on to Sunday night.
Yeah, I like it.
Oof. Ravens the favorite on that one with a pretty low over/under for 21.5.
You have two decent defenses. Patriots just got shredded by the Jets, but you were missing Gilmore.
Mm-hmm. He did go out, didn't he?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, the over/under is actually set right where it needs to be. Picking the Ravens at that is going to be your smart bet. I think they handled this game pretty well.
They'll probably
a Sunday night game. It's tough to call. You never know what these are going to happen. Obviously, we talked about the Saints with the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to put your head at, Dale.
Monday night game. So Vikings at even. It's 45 over/under. That actually sounds about right. I think Dale would bet the under on 45. I think personally I would probably bet the over. I don't know. I know we all know Nick Foles he's not Big Dick Nick as we would have hoped coming into this season, but I think he's pretty formidable about getting the ball down the field in crunch time. He seems to be doing this a lot this season in the fourth quarter and making it very interesting. I guess the only question here is, can the Vikings score on us as much? And I think they will.
Yeah, see, I kind of see where Dale's going with this. He wants to go under. If it's the way I'm thinking, the way he's thinking, it's going to be run heavy for the Vikings, even with the defense where it is. So, plays are not stopping. You're not getting as much time, not as many plays on offense.
Okay, I could see that.
Not as many points scored. The Bears, I haven't seen their line a lot, but I feel like they've hit under most cases.
Okay.
Throughout the year, just because they keep games close. They don't score a lot of points. Defense keeps them in it. So I can understand where he's going with that, and I agree. So.
Okay. Not a very big gambling man, so you going over 45, I would probably lose some bad money there. But
it's a good line too. So.
That is a good line. That's a good line. Well, that's pretty good take over here. Dale's dirty picks.
Hopefully you did it well.
I think you did a pretty solid job. We were agreeing with a lot of this here. But, in the end, who needs football? Because we got the Masters.
Dude, if anybody watching this, if you watch golf, you're going to see a man destroy the game of golf this week. Not in a bad way, but if you know the names, Bryson DeChambeau, the man, I was reading this tweet the guy he played with in his practice round was giving the clubs that he used from certain holes. On his second shots on the par fives, he was hitting 8-iron. So for Bryson, I think that's like 160, 170 out on a par five. He's hitting the ball 360 average off the tee. He was driving over par.
Wow.
There are people saying that he could easily change the way the game is played at the Masters next year with how he scores. And that's if he hits the ball straight and he hits it 400 yards, he's making every shot a sand wedge in. It's going to be dangerous, but it's going to be fun. He's a fun guy to watch, but there's talk about like implementing a new ball, changing the tees, all this kind of stuff. You don't want to take a game that's built up the way it is and have a guy ruin it with the science. So there's talk about limiting club choices, all this kind of stuff. We'll have to see how it is. He could come out and be a dud, but
it'd be interesting to watch.
God, he'd be my money bet for sure. If I bet, like, at 100%, and he's a favorite. So.
Okay. Those are some dirty bets for.
Yeah, dirty bets for the Masters. Check
the
out.
Masters there. There you go.
Check out golf podcast.
That
once
doesn't
a year.
exist. Yeah.
Once a year at the end of every football game. Oh man.
Oh man. Well, we'll go ahead. Move on to a new segment. We're dropping a couple of segments that we've been doing this week or this year, and we're going to fill it in since we are getting towards the end of the season. We kind of wanted to talk about instead of the outside top 20, we're going to talk about the top 10.
Yep.
Players in at least quarterback, running back, wide receiver position because they're starting to establish themselves, and we wanted to talk about maybe one player that we will not see by season's end in that top 10 position. So we decided to look at our Yahoo League. So this is going to be looking completely different if you were to look at, another list out there. This is just pertaining to our bonus points and everything factored in. So for the top 10 quarterbacks that we have this season thus far, Patrick Mahomes standing out number one, followed very closely by Chef Russell Wilson.
Let him cook.
You got to let him cook. Kyler Murray coming in at number 3. Josh Allen, number 4. Aaron Rodgers, number 5. Tom Brady, number 6. Deshaun Watson, number 7. Matt Ryan, number 8. Justin Herbert, the rookie, moving into number 9. And Ryan Tannehill coming in at number 10. These are all names that I kind of expected to see when I looked at this list.
Yeah, I mean, there's some glaring ones that you expected to see that you're not.
Yeah.
At the start of the season, I mean, me personally, not seeing Lamar in there is a little rough. But I mean, you got like players like Drew Brees, for example. Obviously, he's had some injury problems on his offense.
Yeah.
You thought you'd see him in there. I mean, I had high hopes for Stafford this year. Thought he could make that jump. But that's how it goes, and you're still plenty of weeks to see what happens.
Plenty of weeks to see what happens. I did kind of find it very interesting. We've played so many of these weeks thus far, and looking at the list, Dak is still number 12.
I know.
Oh man, that is impressive. I feel so bad.
He has a chance to stay within the top 15 if you obviously he's out, so he's going to drop under. But if you actually compared him, he would be top 15 the rest of the year. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. That dude was on fire. So this is just another example, Danny, of it just kind of sucks seeing your team kind of suffering the way it is because he definitely would have carried you to some victories.
I mean, let's not get this wrong. We all want Danny to lose.
Let's not get it wrong, yeah.
But we want him to lose because his team's playing. Like when you're not playing, your players aren't there. It's tough, and we don't want to see that. But
it feels like an empty victory when that happens. Case in point, this past week, I did not feel like a win was deserved, but hey, it happens. Yeah. So out of this list of 10, do you have a name that you think will not be there by the end of the season? And I'm talking end of playoffs. I'm talking.
Yeah, you're talking 16, week 16.
Yeah, week 16.
Yeah. And I think because of that, so there are a couple, but I didn't want to stay on. We talked about this. I don't want to go like 9-10 and have them drop out.
Yeah.
I think Deshaun Watson ends
Yeah.
up dropping out. He's been on fire. After Bob, what is this, like 5 AB? I don't know, 5 after Bob?
5 after Bob,
something like that. He's been on fire, but the matchups are there.
Yeah.
I think he continues getting hot. His 3 final games are torture.
Yeah.
And we've seen him without an offensive line. Yeah, the scheme's a little bit different, but I think he can fall a little bit with players like Ryan. Tannehill, I think, is going to start heating up here. And I think Breeze jumps in there. So I think Watson will be my choice to fall out.
Okay. It's very likely. He was definitely one that I was highlighting as well. It's just tough to see. Yeah, Indy, Chicago, Indy again, just in the playoff schedule, and Cincinnati to finish it off. I don't see it being possible, but I could be wrong. We could both be wrong.
Yeah, it's tough.
He was definitely the number one for me. The other one that I cannot see holding off, I'm gonna go with Matt Ryan.
Mm-hmm. What, he's 7 or 8, 9? He's 8
number
right now.
8, yeah.
Right.
Aside from Deshaun Watson, he was clearly my number one to drop out, even though he's my own quarterback. But Matt Ryan, he's been having some up weeks. He's been having some down weeks. Yeah, he started the year off so bad to the point where he got dropped and ended up on the waiver wire. But, people came back. Julio Jones came back, and he's making great things happen. But injuries are starting to pop up again, which they could make things difficult. There's some defenses that are starting to get hang of themselves. New Orleans just completely made Tampa Bay look foolish.
I feel like they did this last year too. Like the final 5 or 6 games, they just turned it on.
They turned it on, and that being said, Matt Ryan has to face them twice in the next the final weeks here. So then he has to face Tampa Bay and Kansas City. Matt Ryan's going to have a tough year, rest of season ahead of him. That being said, we all know he's just going to ride the bench because Pat Mahomes is on the same team.
God, so funny, and we talked about this. So funny that the man drafts 2 quarterbacks with the same bye and then picks up a quarterback that has the same bye again. Incredible.
Well played. It's kind of like
he's playing us all. We're fools.
40
chess in his game.
Yeah, 40 chess. I don't know what's happening there. But we'll move on.
Yeah.
Running backs. We got the top 10 running backs this season so far. Dalvin Cook, number 1, obviously. Oh my gosh.
Monster.
We got Alvin Kamara, number 2. Dalvin and Alvin, right in the top there. And then you got Derrick Henry, Mr. Stiff Arm Henry. James Robinson, number 4. Zeke, hanging on to his number 5 spot.
Crazy.
Number 6 is Todd Gurley. Number 7, CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Number 8, Aaron Jones. Number 9, Josh Jacobs. Number 10, Kareem Hunt. Now, I think the obvious candidate is, Kareem, because Nick Chubb is coming back. But
yeah, I think though he was better when.
Yeah,
he was better when Chubb was there.
I will keep the fingers crossed. That was the pattern I saw when I made the trade. Is that he was a great 1B to the 1A, and I thought they both were producing. But aside from sticking to number 10s and dropping them out, who do you got as a running back dropping out of the top 10?
Yeah, I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think this one's a little obvious. He's been good. He's getting points, double digits most weeks. Looks like he hasn't had double digits only 2 weeks. So he's scoring touchdowns. They don't like running the ball. They did this. They did this last year too. You go and you trade for you get LaShawn McCoy on the team, give him a couple. I think he played like 2 minutes. Like that's what it feels like with Le'Veon Bell and now Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's got Vegas this week, but then he goes Tampa Bay, Denver, Miami, very surprising, New Orleans, Atlanta, all bottom like 7 against or for running backs. So I think he ends up falling out. I think they're very tight there, and he'll end up outside of that.
I think you're absolutely right. All these defenses that you listed, teams are more successful throwing through the air. And that's what they'd like to do anyways. So it's just going to be hard to trust any of the running backs there. As you guys might have seen, I dropped Le'Veon Bell because there's no hope anymore. It's over. Let's go with, I guess I'm just hating on the Falcons here. Todd Gurley.
He was up there,
Gurley. Yeah. He's a respectable guy when he can find the end zone. And that's what's padding his stats 100% this season. I mean, a couple weeks ago he was missing the first half of the football game, and he came back in, saved his day with a touchdown, and it's whatever's going on there, man. If he doesn't get these touchdowns consistently, he's in trouble. So I think CEH is the first candidate. I agree with that because of just their pass-happy offense. But Todd Gurley is definitely up there in fear of losing some ground. So
yeah, the running backs are tough because you really have like Elliott's your 5, and I know he's been okay, but like never what you thought he was going to be. It's just there's not a lot of running backs that can jump in.
Right.
So it's really a couple that have to, like Chubb probably has a chance to jump back in there. You got Miles Sanders, James Conner. I think they can slowly make their way in there.
They'll definitely put up a fight for end of season top 10 there for sure. We'll see what happens. We'll see. Wide receivers. We'll go ahead and start it off. Number 1, Devontae Adams. Man, that guy's on fire. Number 2, Tyreek Hill. Number 3 and 4, we're looking at a couple of Seahawks, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Number 5, Stephon Diggs. Number 6, Calvin Ridley. Number 7, DeAndre Hopkins. Number 8, Keenan Allen. Number 9, Allen Robinson. Number 10, Terry McLaurin. Robbie, you got 3 of the top 10 on your squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels pretty good.
I did not know, until I looked, I didn't realize where McLaurin was.
Yeah.
He's just very quiet with it on a team that's very quiet about everything they do. So
yeah, it's very, very quiet, but he's there and he's consistent. I think I was kind of surprised seeing Calvin Ridley that high up. I mean, he's outscoring Keenan Allen and DeAndre Hopkins. It was kind of a surprise for me. Not to say that he wasn't
Ridley really broke out in the first few weeks. That put him up as one. He was the number 1 receiver for the first 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And he slowly fall down because he's been hurt. A couple duds. So.
Yeah, the injury I know is still ailing him, so that kind of sucks. But let's give your take. Wide receiver you think is going to fall out of the top 10?
Yeah, this one's, again, really tough because I would probably say McLaurin in the end, but he's at 10. So I am actually going to surprise and say DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
I actually went all the way across the board, and I didn't realize until now with the 7th. So Watson, Clyde, and Hopkins they're all 7 right now.
That's fair.
He has a really good schedule, but the way that team operates, they don't use him unless they need him. And I don't think they're going to need him. I mean, you play Buffalo this week, which is fine, but then Seattle, I mean, you got the Giants on there, you got Philly on there. Christian Kirk has come into form a little bit more.
Okay.
It's just, I don't think it's because of lack of talent or lack of opportunity. Mm-hmm. I don't think if he goes 50 and a touchdown, that's not going to keep him in the top 10. And I feel like that's what he'll end up doing for the rest of the year. So.
And that's fair. Yeah, he was, I think, a definite safety net for Kyler Murray at the beginning of the season because Murray still looked like he was having a decent amount of trouble. But that dude has figured everything and anything out, and he can do whatever he wants. So,
I mean, they're the number 1 offense in the league. It's crazy. They're a lot of fun to watch. They really are.
Yeah, that's great to watch.
Except for their running backs, but whatever.
That's fair. I've been saying it all season on these shows that I just love Kyler Murray. I think he's honestly the steal of the draft at this point because you saw all these other players going where we kind of expected them to go, but he should have been taken up there with Mahomes at this rate. But I'm going to go ahead and change gears here. I'm taking Calvin Ridley down a notch. It's part injury. It's part Julio Jones all of a sudden becoming the favorite again. And also the other wide receivers out there. Zacharias all of a sudden being a player in the NFL. I guess that's a thing. In my opinion, it's silly that he's in front of Ryan Gage, but that's okay.
Yeah, Russell Gage. Russell Gage. Man.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, man, they have that group of 3 to 6 receivers, the number 3 beyond. Anyone can break out in a game. That's just what Matt Ryan does for you.
It's what Matt Ryan does, but I guess I'm totally hating on the Falcons in these top 10s here because
you really are.
I really am. I think that all things considered, Calvin Ridley could be overtaken by some of these other receivers just because of consistency. DeAndre Hopkins being the only one who's not as consistent as the others below him.
Yeah.
I think that is a nice little take on the top 10 potential there, guys. I like it. Thanks for joining me on that new segment. Cheers.
Of course. I always like that one.
Yeah, this one's kind of good. We're going to try to switch it up here a little bit and talk about some terrible draft picks. This was another new segment we wanted to bring on because we're nearing the end of the regular season. So we have a better understanding of how things have went. So we wanted to take a look at the top 3 draft picks from everybody. Just the first 3 rounds. Barring major injury. We know that Michael Thomas has been out most of the season.
Right.
CMC been out most of the season. So we did not look at those players, but we wanted to take a look at anybody in the top 3 draft picks that have underperformed, some of the worst draft picks out there. And, we have a healthy list to go off of. I think you said you came up with 5. I have 4.
I have 5, yeah.
We may have 4 of the same players on this list that you're looking at. But that's just because some of these guys have really underperformed, and it sucks. This happens each and every year. You want to go ahead and kick it off with your number 1, the one that was just the absolute worst draft pick in the top 3 rounds.
Yeah, so my first 2 are going to be pretty easy. The other ones I kind of put a little more thought in, but Le'Veon Bell. No. I think he was your 3rd round. Adam Gase destroyed him, and then he went to a team that didn't need him. He's going there to get a ring.
That's it.
And he's just not anywhere near what he was. Obviously, I don't think you've been able to start him / have wanted to the entire year. And he was your 3rd round pick from what I thought I saw. Yeah. That's got to be number 1 for me.
That's 100% number 1. I looked at all of this, and that's the one name. Well, there were 2, but that was the absolute winner in my book. I drafted him because he was the Jets' only running back aside from Frank Gore. Yeah, he was going to do something. The team sucks. Doesn't matter. He was going to get at least 10 points a game, in my opinion. Yeah. That's what I drafted him for. But then he went and just said, "Hey, I'm getting paid and a potential ring. You can put me on the bench, coach." And that's what's happening.
I actually think it's a little unfair because we both went to him after we said no injuries. But I do think even if he played on the Jets, man, nobody on the Jets can do anything because Adam Gase is just he cages his players. So I'm putting the fact in that if he played, he still wasn't doing anything. He probably scored more on IR than he did.
I'm kind of convinced that he faked the injury because he was. So I don't even think there was an injury. He probably faked it just to get the hell out of there, and it worked. He did. By a financial standpoint, this dude was a genius. He did everything he wanted, and he might potentially get a Super Bowl ring. Cool. You ruined my 3rd round draft pick. Thanks, Le'Veon Bell. So we'll go on to number 2. Who do you have as your second worst pick in the top?
The player, I believe he was picked right after. I might be crazy, but Juju.
Yeah.
Again, this was the year. It was Big Ben coming back. Juju had a huge year with him a couple years ago. It was the right time for it.
Yeah.
He's the third best receiver on that team.
How?
Um,
How? he was clearly number one like the past 2 years, and
it's just he's a great slot. You put him in Washington. You have Alex Smith who throws it 5 yards every time. He's probably a top 10 receiver this year. I know that sounds crazy, but that's just not how Pittsburgh runs their offense. Deontay Johnson's better. Claypool's coming into his own. Total bust. It's really unfortunate, but
it's really unfortunate. I mean, granted, it looks like week 9 he actually did something good. He 93 yards and a touchdown. In week 7 he had 14 targets and he got 85 yards. That's about the highlight. That's about it. Aside from week 1, where he put up almost 22 points, we just got a bunch of other great talent out there, and Big Ben can only share the love so much.
And it's not like, he's putting up double digits. It's about where he is. Like, if you get that in round 6 or 7, you're probably happy about it. But you get him around 3, that's a little different.
Yeah, it's very true. I think that was about my top 2 there as well. I'll go ahead and throw out a name that I don't know if this is kind of breaking the rules because he got injured in week 7 and his team had a bye in week 9. So technically he only missed 1 game. But Odell Beckham Jr. He is now on a season-ending injury, but he did play just about 7 weeks, and it was a pretty big bust if we're looking at it. From what we saw the first couple of weeks, the running backs did all the work. There was no need for him. There was no need for Jarvis Landry, and they're still finding some receivers out there, but I don't even think if he was still out there, he'd be doing much. That's one name I kind of wanted to throw out there. Do you got another one you want to talk about?
Yeah, Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
Man, the way he finished last year, you just thought it was it. It made sense. He comes in the year limping a little bit. I don't think that has anything to do with it. You just saw Chase Edmonds last week get shut down as well. It feels like their run game just isn't in sync, which is crazy. Number 1 offense again.
Yeah.
He was my number 2, I think.
I think he was your number 2 draft pick.
After Josh Jacobs, yeah. And the highest points he scored, legit, I would say, 13.5 week 1. He scored that 30 point on a huge breakout run with no time left, but complete bust so far.
Yeah, that was the week that he just smothered my face in the grass.
I needed 7 points. I got 30. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Kenny Drake, just really rough year for him. And I think the last one I kind of want to throw out there, I don't know. He's had a couple of good weeks, but there's a lot of targets out there. There's just going back to a team that just loves to spread the ball around. DJ Moore. He's had a couple of good weeks again. For double digits, they're great. He had 1 game in the 20s, but for your 3rd round draft pick, it's you expected more. You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, his scores suck. Holy crap. I'm just not looking at him. I don't care. He's not on my team anymore. But,
right, you traded him away, and when you traded him away, he did get like a 23-point week or something. But that's about that. It's kind of tough to look at because he was going into this season. He was supposed to be the guy for Carolina.
And that was always a risk. You never knew with the new offense, but you just thought 7, 8 targets a game, 5 receptions, 60 yards. Boom. Okay, cool. Maybe a touchdown. And it just, Robbie Anderson happened. And now they're kind of all over the place. You got Curtis Samuel coming in. It's crazy. So.
You got one more for me? You throw out one
you're
more
done with yours, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let me just throw 2 names out. It's not necessarily fair, but where they were drafted.
Okay.
I don't think they lived up / are going to live up when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Zeke, again,
True.
it's crazy to think like he's still a top 5 running back in our league.
Mm-hmm.
But being drafted where he was drafted, he's not putting up those 25, 30-point games like you expected. Not necessarily his fault. A lot of injuries on that offensive line, quarterback issues. So, I mean, if you go back, you're probably taking Kamara at that point.
Yeah. If you're going back at that
Same
point,
with Barkley. He's probably not even there. You're probably taking Dalvin Cook at that, or however it panned out. I forgot. But and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm not really on his train. He had some good weeks. I think the fact that he's going to fall out makes that pick as number 4.
Yeah.
Kind of a bust in
It's
that
tough.
situation.
Yeah, it's tough. I think he had the potential. Even if they did not pick up Bell, he probably still would have been trending downwards. It just seems like they just love to throw the ball, and that's a damn shame because I actually like him. He seems like he runs hard. He's got the spirit of a running back that you want coming into the league in his first year. It's just they don't give it to him in the red zone on the 10-yard line on the goal line.
He's a foot tall, so.
Well, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's okay.
Let's ask our correspondent, Josh. Is that okay?
That's okay. That's all right. That's fine. Height means nothing.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. Let's say Mahomes got hurt, right? You got, I forgot who their backup is. Matt Moore, I think maybe. He probably jumps up again because he's talented. They just don't need him to do anything, and they hate running the ball. They hate it.
They do.
So.
They hate it. Well, thanks for joining me on the worst draft picks.
So I was represented well. I love it.
Yeah, we all had a little bit of sprinkled in there. It was kind of fun. Now I guess we'll move on to the 1v1s.
Okay.
You've been watching the show, I hope. I've been putting together some rhymes here and there.
Yes.
I got some limericks.
Oh, damn.
I went into even more depth this week. But we'll go ahead and give you first pick of the first game here. Who do you want to talk about?
All right. Well, I think I have to put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot?
Yeah. I think we're going to talk about your game, and we're going to talk about a proposition. I feel like with Louis gone.
Okay.
We need to spice it up a little bit, and I think we need to eat a habanero next week. So I propose, in front of the 4 people watching this, habanero bet on our picks this week.
On just our picks.
Our picks.
So just to be fair, you are celebrity picking for Louis. It will count towards his pick'ems end of season for a potentially different habanero bet. But then you want to also put a habanero bet for our picks this week.
Yes. Yes, I do.
I'm in.
Okay, cool. All right, let's have it. Perfect. All right, so we're talking Flacco for 2 versus Hunted Down.
Yeah.
All right. Pretty much what I did. Couple players, couple quick reasons why, and then we'll let you Robert Frost it there. Flacco for 2. Looking at Sanders coming back for New York. Hoping he comes back. He's a fun player. I love to watch him play. He's rested up, and he has those big plays. You're going to get a 50-plus yard run from him. Hopefully that turns into a TD. Hopefully some points for him. And then Allen Robinson. His schedule is going to be amazing down the stretch. His quarterback is going to be subpar down the stretch.
Yeah, down the stretch.
But it doesn't matter. He's frustrated. He's really upset with the offense now. I think he goes 7 receptions over 100 yards this week. I think he has a really good game against Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, especially against Minnesota, it's a key player for sure.
As for your team, good sir, I think
Yes,
you're going to be surprised. DJ Chark. I think this shows when you're the best receiver on the team. Your quarterback should throw you the ball. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal this from the podcast I watch, but gluten free. I love it. I love the nickname. He actually didn't look bad. I know it's not against the greatest defense, but I think they come out. He loves him. They're going to need to score against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Green Bay's not great on defense. They've shown up a few games, but overall, DJ Chark's a monster. And then I think J.D. McKissick goes crazy. I think he had 12 receptions, 10 or 12 receptions last week with Alex Smith coming in part way through that game.
Yeah.
Talked about it earlier. Alex Smith cannot throw the ball deep
Right.
consistently. He does. He hit a few
He does.
receivers deep,
Yeah.
but he loves McKissick. I think 8 receptions. It's Alex Smith's favorite pass catcher on that team.
Yeah, it's been Alex Smith's game forever. It's just a pass short, and he will continue to do so.
Yeah, game
So,
manager, dude. That's what he does.
That's what he does. Yeah, he is. He's a really smart dude when it comes to game management. So, I love it because I did have these limericks all planned out. I didn't tell you who was going to be in these limericks.
I love it. Come on, tell me we're 2 for 2 at least.
All right, so hunt it down. Chark could go off, or he could miss it. Hopefully the slack can be gained with J.D. McKissick.
Yes. We're here.
That's it.
Oh gosh. Oh, I love it.
Now, I did have one question just before I start this limerick for Flacco for 2.
Yes.
His kicker. I don't know his pronunciation. Is it Bass or is it Bass?
I think since nobody heard his name ever said before in their life, it could be whatever you want.
Excellent. So the Q
but it's
tags.
Probably gonna be wrong.
It's probably going to be wrong, and I don't care. The Q tags on Sanders and Breeze won't give you much trouble. And kick off your hopes with that bass, not treble.
Oh, very nice. I think it's Bass though.
I think it might be, but I don't care. For the limerick, we're going with bass.
I'm so proud of you.
I think this is a good matchup. I know the questionable tags, and as long as because Sanders is a great guy, as long as he doesn't set.
Yeah, he's a good person. You've met him before.
Right. All us people under 5'7", we're all great. So I think he would be the key factor here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to, at least I hope, I take the victory. So I'm gonna go with myself in this week.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't write this down. I apologize. Let me pull up again. I'm also choosing you. I'm not going to do the flip-flop just to try to gain stuff.
That's fair.
I mean, I actually think Gordon comes back to life, but he's putting a lot in some players, like Austin Hooper coming back off injury. You got Antonio Brown in there who looked good in a really bad game from Brady. I just think your players have a little bit better matchups overall. So I think you take that one.
Sweet deal. Then we'll go ahead and put you on the spot.
Hey, I see
down to McDouble and a Drake versus Lamb of God. We'll go ahead. I'll start off with my limerick since I put you on the spot.
I gotta follow you up. Got it.
You gotta follow me up. Okay. McLaurin and Allen can't do all the work, so Taylor, take back carries from Wilkins, the jerk.
Ooh, yes, what an asshole.
And then Lamb of God, we'll go ahead. Will Carson and Harris return to the field, or will Wilson, the chef, refuse to yield? Because those are some big question marks. I mean, I know Harris is on his bench right now, but if somehow he hops in there and is healthy, I think you got to play him. I don't
know, man. He's playing Baltimore.
I think it should be okay. Cam needs all the help he can get. That's just what I'm going to throw out there. Cam is not a Tom Brady. He cannot bring the Patriots to victory just by lucky passes. He's going to need all the help he can get. So it's potential. Go ahead, break down your game. What do you think of that?
Yeah. So again, highlighting 2 players on each team. I got McLaurin against Detroit. Washington has a really good defense, but Detroit still finds a way to score enough to make the other team try. They're never going to either be so far ahead in a game or so far behind a game where the other team can't be throwing the ball. And I think he has less than McKissick in receptions, but McLaurin's a beast, man. He reminds me a lot of Allen Robinson. Like, put him on a team with a quarterback. Mm-hmm. The numbers he's putting up with Haskins, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith have been crazy. So they're going to have to keep up, like I said, a little bit. And then I have James Robinson. Not a great matchup in terms of running the ball, and he didn't really have a lot of receptions last week, but opportunities are there. I think he rushed for 25 rushes last week. Green Bay is not great on defense. I think he puts up bigger numbers. So,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I just want to throw in there. McLaurin is definitely QB proof. Like, I think he's just a great.
It's crazy. He's such a good route runner. He's open all the time. It's insane. And then moving over to Lamb of God, I have Connor coming back. I don't know what happened last week. They didn't trust him. They wanted to get a new groove in there. They were playing from behind. I'm not sure, but against Cincinnati, I think he tries to prove a point. I think it happens. And then I have Lockett having a better game than Metcalf.
Okay.
And the reason for that is the worst human being on the planet, Jalen Ramsey, is still one of the best cornerbacks on the planet. And you're not going to stop DK Metcalf, but he's going to be on there. He's going to slow him down. That leaves Lockett open a little bit more. It's going to be a close game. I think you're going to have to trust him on a bomb down the field. So
that's fair. Yeah, I totally agree. And, with those receivers, it's one or the other. They're not both going to have a piece of the pie. So if it is Lockett's week, it could be difficult for you. That 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Who do you got winning this week for you in this matchup? I've already got myself.
I picked myself.
Okay. Yeah.
A couple things happened. You got Carson, obviously still a little banged up. Jerry Jeudy did not practice today.
Yeah, that was interesting. He's a great guy out there. He looked great last week. But
I think we both have players in there that we need to boom with low projections. I feel like I just have a slight edge when it comes to that. So.
Yeah, I think you do as well. It's going to be a close game. I think there's only one game this week. No, maybe two. The two that we're about to talk about. That will probably have a little bit of trouble just because of a few key factors here. But I also have you winning this week. So
cool.
We're both on the same page on those. Do you want to pick the next one?
Yeah, let's go kicking Buttkers versus more bench points.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and start it off here?
Yeah. So looking at kicking Buttkers, I think Brady has a big game. Again, I don't know what happened. I think it was New Orleans. We talked about this, how they kind of kick it into gear at the end of the year. They had a really good game out. Carolina's not as good on defense, and they can keep up. So I think this is going to be more back and forth than people think. Brady has a big game. And then I have Robert Woods having a monster game.
Okay.
And I say that because Seattle has the worst defense of all time. Again, podcast I listen to, they're on track to give up more than 1,000 yards over the most yards ever given up in a season.
Oh my God. Yeah, they are absolutely rubbish, except of course when they're playing Jimmy Garoppolo. However,
that's just Garoppolo, my man.
But yeah, I agree. Both of them. This is an offense where Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp can both feast, and I think it's going to happen for sure. Yeah. I think you're right. So
switching over to more bench points, I only want to talk about one player on his team, and I'll bring that up when we pick for my reasoning. But Stephon Diggs against Arizona. Buffalo's defense not what they used to be. I think Arizona puts up a lot of points. Okay. Stephon Diggs has been a PPR machine. So you're getting probably 8-9 receptions. You're already in 5 points. You give him at least 10 yards of reception, something like that. Yep. You're in double digits pretty easily. He's great. It showed on the Vikings. It shows even more here. He's a great player. So that's the only one I really wanted to highlight on his team as of right now.
Okay. All right. As of right now, you mean
when we go to the picks? When we go to the picks, yeah, I'll kind of talk more. So.
Okay. All right. Well, with kicking Buckers, we'll go ahead and talk about last week. Just in this limerick here, when your kicker has your second most points, clearly you ain't making enough noise because that was rough. It was really. I have no faith in my team. Last week I said my team is trending down, And they are, at least from what we've seen the past couple of weeks. But,
Right.
ouch, man. Danny, I hope your team can get back in this. Yeah, Robert Woods they had a bye week last week, so maybe he could help boost up some of that team morale for you. And Tom Brady, I don't know what happened, but it's Tom Brady. He's had those games in his past, so he'll bounce right back.
Yeah. He could easily get 40 points from Brady and 25 from Woods and be in this thing. So
yeah. Let's see here for more bench points. Dalvin will cook. Metcalf's got swag. All of them with Rodgers will put this win in the bag. You already got my pick on this one because these are all players I highlighted just in the Limerick alone. I think Metcalf, even though he might not feast as much as Tyler Lockett, you're still going to get maybe a 70-yard reception from him, and that's pretty much it. That's his down week is a big reception, and then he fades for the rest of the game. But you got Dalvin, you got Aaron Rodgers this week, just against Jacksonville. He's going to do great things. Yeah. So, all right, what do you got, man?
All right, I'm picking more bench points for sure,
Okay. Yeah.
but it's more of a knock on Danny's team and on his unfortunate situation than it is. I actually think we see a down week for more bench points.
Okay.
He has the big scores. You got Rodgers out there. You got Diggs out there. Outside of that, he actually has a lot of low end matchups. If he was playing another team, let's say he plays where I thought Julio from last week,
Mm-hmm.
I actually think just the matchups, they're very underrated. Denver's really good against the run. Chicago is really good against the run now.
Yeah.
They just stopped Derrick Henry. You know Dalvin Cook's coming. Make Kirk Cousins beat you. Cook, he's still going to put up 20-plus points, but you're not getting that 40-point game again. It's just not going to happen. Right. DeAndre Swift against Washington. Smith, Jonnu Smith against Indianapolis.
Yeah.
He's still going to win. I just think we see a down because of his matchups. I think he's lucky that he's playing Danny this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
I know the projections don't show it because, you still got Dalvin Cook projected 19, but...
I know. But, that's well within their range. Last week it was an extremely tough matchup for Alvin Kamara. He still put up almost 14 points. And that's just these that's how these players are. That's who they are. So, more bench points. You got both our votes in this week. Just unfortunate for you there, kicking Buckers. Well, maybe next week. We got the last game before the big old game of the week. We got receiversonly.com versus Where Art Thou, Julio? Julio, I'm going to start with you did this to yourself, okay? Where Art Thou, Julio? You did this to yourself. And I don't think I need to say much more. I have a whole limerick here, but I'm just going to preface the whole matchup with that. Go ahead. I'm going to let you start talking here. What do you got for this matchup?
Yeah, so let's talk receivers only first. Wanted to highlight Josh Allen. I think he got off the schneid. I was against Seattle, so that give or take what you want there, but against Arizona this week, I think he totals 3 touchdowns, whether that probably 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. Again, you're going to need to score. Arizona has the best offense in football, even against a little bit better defense, high scoring.
Yeah.
And I actually think Claypool has a big game against Cincinnati. He kind of started going down a little bit. He's had a few pop games, couple double-digit, but hasn't had that big breakout game again. I think he has 2 big plays. He probably goes over 100 yards and at least a touchdown against Cincinnati.
Okay.
For Where Out There, Julio, I'm only highlighting one player, and it's Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
Right? And the reason I'm highlighting him is Cleveland.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks, the past 4 weeks, has put up 30, 17, 9, and 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's with Fuller also putting up those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
Top 24 receivers easily.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want to highlight anyone else because the only reason he wins games, they're all sitting on the bench.
They're all of them.
You don't have Mahomes, you don't have Kelsey, you don't have Jones.
Yeah.
You don't have Des Bryant.
You don't, especially Des Bryant. How could he not be helping you from the practice squad? Yeah, no, this was. That's why I said you did this to yourself. You had, again, we talked about it earlier. 2 of your quarterbacks. You drafted 2 on the same bye week. You dropped 1. You picked 1 up that had the same bye week. You got Julio Jones on the same bye week. Oh gosh.
I love it.
Let's just go ahead and jump into this limerick. When the bye weeks hit and takes out your Chiefs, there's no way to find a replacement to cheat. Because Mahomes is a cheat code. And that's all I'm going to say. That's what I mean by cheat. Because he's a freaking living, breathing, walking cheat code in the NFL. And you don't got him. You don't got his tight end. You don't got anybody. Woof. Woof, woof, woof. All right, playing against Jacksonville, that man, Devontae, will put up the numbers the size of an elefante. I think he's going to destroy Jacksonville. I mean, he destroys everybody since he's been back. And Aaron Rodgers and him are not going to stop here. Jacksonville could, like you said, bounce back. They are now gluten-free. They could bounce back and keep it a good game, and I don't think it's going to go to MVS on the other side of this 1v1 matchup. It's going to go to Devontae Adams. I mean, pretty soon we're going to have Alan Lazard back.
My favorite player.
And I think at that point, MVS is almost going to be irrelevant.
I totally agree. Yeah.
So just a heads up for the future there, man. Otherwise, I'm going receiversonly.com.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can't be stupid. Like, I think it's receiversonly.com as well. Yeah. It just doesn't. Some things don't make, like Ryan Tannehill doesn't make sense to me this week. He didn't really show up against the Bears. The Colts have a good defense. Not going to show up there. You still got Ronald Fumblin Jones. You got Joshua Kelly, who's not even the 3rd running back on that team. I mean, there's people out there that could be playing, but it's so hard because it's tough. I think this is going to be very lopsided.
It's going to be very lopsided. I know in defense here, with everybody here on his team, aside from Des Bryant being on bye week, it's really tough to make open spots for players to pick up. So, I mean, maybe that's what's happening. He can drop
any of the players that are in his starting lineup. Is what he could do.
Oh, man. Watch his team just put us to shame again. And I don't know. I don't know how it happens. Elijah, your team, we have admitted it. They just surprise us on a week-to-week basis. But this has got to be the week where they do not surprise us.
Joshua Kelly's. What week are we in? We're 10?
Yeah, week 10.
4 points, 2 points, 4.7, 3, 8.
I got nothing. But hey, we've made our picks. We'll let the picks do the talking.
Yes.
That being said, gentlemen and gentlemen, we have moved on to a segment here that Louis is not here to announce, unfortunately. So
I will not ruin that for him.
I was going to. I was seriously considering saying that, you know what we have coming up here is the game of the week. I cannot do it justice.
You never know.
This is, I mean, we've had a couple of games that could be close, a couple of them which I just don't think will be close. But this is the one that stands out. And there he is.
Oh, with the birthday hats on it. I love it.
Yeah.
God, my masterpiece looks so good up there.
Woo!
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
So beautiful.
And happy belated birthday, boss.
Thank you. We have a guest host here, Robbie. What's going on? I'm all thrown off.
Yes. My name is Louis today.
I'm in the beard. It's close enough.
That's close.
Yeah.
That's as close as we could find.
Yeah, Scott, where's your beard?
I can't grow one.
No, you cannot.
I tried. It looked terrible.
We saw the quarantine beard from the spring.
Yeah, it was rough.
It looked like two dogs trying to kiss, and then like
Yeah.
some weird shit
Great.
happening.
Every year they burn the prairie grass behind my house. It's very patchy at the end of it. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
Well, guys, welcome to the game of the week. Welcome back, because you guys are both here. Been here several times this year.
We like to keep it interesting.
You got to keep it interesting. Scott, this is back-to-back weeks for you. You did make it interesting last week until about the Monday night game. Sunday night, Monday night game.
I mean, when I said he was going to get 4, he actually got 7, so I'm still proud of him.
Yeah. he has a total of 10 points. We're not getting into Michael Thomas right now. It's not about me.
No,
But, I mean,
Absolute trash.
your guys' game was pretty close. But, Matt, your game.
oh
Yeah.
God.
Whoa. Woo!
I thought for sure the curse was back.
Yeah, biting nails that whole time. Oh, man.
Yeah, I was texting with Eric, and he refused to turn it on all night until I'm like, you got to turn it on. One of us is going to be heartbroken. And he said the first thing he saw when he turned on was that Joe Flacco interception. that put me over the top.
Is that why he changed his name to Flacco for 2?
That's why, because I got the naming rights. I got the
You got the
naming.
name right.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well done.
Oh, man, that's oh, I potentially have naming rights this week. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, guy can't lose.
That's right.
Oh.
But this is not about my game. This is about the game of the week
Yeah, we're
here.
horrible hosts. Let's
So
go.
I think the game of the week should be Scott Lyjack.
You think it just that's it? Just
Just
Lyjack?
got-
It's Lyjack versus the bye weeks.
Scott Lyjack in chat just because it might be the biggest margin win ever in history.
oh wow.
Not even looking at the right one, man.
Let's see. What's their matchup?
Scott Lyjack has everybody on a bye.
Oh really?
You know that guy Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, that one.
That guy Julio Jones, that guy Travis
That one
Kelce,
white guy,
shit.
Kelsey.
that guy Michael Gallup.
Oh
They're-
man, you're
Get
right.
out of here. So trash. You're trash talking Michael Gallup right now.
Well, they're all on a bye week.
Well, I mean, he did make the trade before Dak got hurt, so I originally thought it was a bad trade, but
Still a bad trade.
Forethought. Yeah, I can see into the future.
All right. Any
No.
other games outside of yours that you guys want to talk about?
No, let's talk about your game, you guys, because we got Kyler Murray taking on Buffalo.
Yes, sir.
And then we got a surprise visit. Somebody who was picked up the waiver, then dropped, and then picked up back off the waiver. So Mr. Tua. Are you scared of Tua there, Matt?
I can't say I'm that scared of him. I guess the Chargers are pretty bad against the quarterback. I didn't realize that, but he is looking better. I'll give him that. I don't think he quite has his scrambling abilities like he did before he, what was that, a hip injury or a leg injury or something?
Hip injury, yeah.
Hip injury. So, I mean, I'll say if he outscores Kyler Murray, then you're probably going to win, Ranky.
yeah, I really think it comes down to the quarterback at this point. Would you stop it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys are pretty
I
close.
mean, if there's a
there.
matchup to put him in, it's against the Chargers. They've been atrocious. They score, and their defense can't do anything. So
Yeah.
there's a chance. There is a chance.
I'm looking at your matchup here. Everybody seems pretty equal. I mean, Aaron Jones against Jacksonville and
Well,
Derrick
that's-
Henry.
Aaron Jones actually decides to play this week instead of.
I see no questionable Chag here.
Yeah, no questionable. He
Yeah.
played last week, but they had those other two dudes also in the backfield.
Let's go with a fully healthy Aaron Jones. Is
Yeah.
about on par with Derrick Henry. Tyler Boyd and Will Fuller, they have different styles of getting the points, but they both put up pretty decent points there.
Will Fuller's a
What's that?
What's that?
I said Will Fuller is 100 or none.
Well, I can't believe that this guy this year, he's put up double-digit point scoring games every game. It looks like.
Yeah, except for Baltimore.
I was completely wrong on him. I was avoiding him
Like the plague.
Everything I had in the draft.
Well, nobody likes his hamstrings. He's bound to get hurt.
Oh, you had him last year, didn't you?
I think I did have him last year, and I think I missed out on his 40-point game.
That sounds about right.
That's how it usually goes.
That's that. I mean, we got Michael Thomas and Adam Thielen. Both in the flex. That's,
if Dalvin Cook continues to just be the ball hog that he is, it'll be interesting.
He really is a ball hog, and I'm kind of sick of it.
I think we all are. Just a little bit.
I think 50 carries a game is a little too many.
Yeah, especially after he blew out his groin almost.
Yeah, and then he bounced right back.
I think Thielen has a tough matchup against Chicago regardless of who your running back is. So.
Yeah.
That's fair. We'll give him that much. But then Michael Thomas, what's with the question tag again? Did he pop back up? What happened?
There's no explanation behind it. It just went from healthy to questionable.
Oh, okay. That's always lovely to see.
How about
there's no explanation. They just said questionable.
He'll be listed like that for the rest of the year. He'll play every week, though. Reminds me of Julian Edelman in his prime was always listed questionable. He had a scratch on his arm or something. So.
And now Jacoby is the one taking all the catches.
Yeah. How do you? What's your plan when Darrell Henderson doesn't play this week?
Look, Darrell.
No, don't derail me right now. Get out of it.
Darrell is going to play. If not, I'm going to figure it out.
I mean, he was held out of Wednesday's practice following.
He'll be hitting that waiver wire pretty hard if he doesn't play.
Look, sometimes you pick up that random guy that throws up 25 points in a week.
Gonna be looking at Frank Gore?
Yeah.
He's played that game before.
I already played that game twice. It didn't work out.
Did you? I didn't even know this.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae Freeman's coming back.
Yeah.
Back. Got Jordan Howard out there.
I got to ask same question, but on the other side of the ball here. Antonio Gibson was held out of practice with a shoulder.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
You sick, Josh?
Yeah, Josh did. Josh is scrappy on the waiver wire. He's picking up all the backups
he's being
a week before they are announced that they're starting.
Hey, you gotta try to win somehow. You can't just rely on
Josh. You always win because everybody else's team decides to shit out on when they play you.
Oh, trash talking the host now.
Damn, that's rough.
I can't deny.
As co-host and no soul here, that's rough. Come on. He built this on a toilet at work years ago. Let him be.
I started from the toilet. Now we're here.
Would you consider playing Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones against Jacksonville?
I thought about it. It's pretty risky though. That would be some desperation move.
I feel like you could send a request to Yahoo to get Curtis Samuel as a running back listing. He's got more carries out of there. I
watch his games, but apparently, he's getting a lot of handoffs or end arounds, reach arounds, whatever you want to call it.
He's averaging a good amount of yards per carry. I'll give him that. It's kind of weird.
Now, do we think that Big Ben is coming back for this weekend, or am I going to have to play Tua? And will Tua put up 35 points?
Well, that's a question we're going to ask you. Boing foot. On to you. What are you feeling? Do you think he's going to play? And if he does, will you play him? I know it's not just COVID. I know it's the injury.
If Ben doesn't play, Tua's going to put up 26 for me.
You heard it here first.
Wow.
Heard it here first.
He's thrown to one guy. No Preston Williams. You got Devontae Parker.
And you know what? We've seen multiple times that one guy could put up that many yards.
That exact guy.
That exact guy with that exact quarterback. We all know lefties don't thrive in the league unless they're Mike Vick. I don't think you're going to have one of those experiences this week.
Look, sometimes a 64-point game swings everything.
Yeah, it says Big Ben was sitting next to Vance McDonald, which was his first mistake.
I read that, which was fantastic. I guarantee they probably weren't wearing masks.
Yeah, he probably sneezed a few times too.
Just on Big Ben, just sneeze
Yeah,
on his
just-
bad shoulder. Yeah, I gotcha.
Damn.
Robbie, as the
Yes.
guest host today, who do you got winning this game?
I actually might change.
Oh.
No, I'm not. I got you mad. I got Gaskin for a friend winning.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't see.
Undefeated already.
I mean, you got a lot of wide receivers on your bench, and then Todd Gurley on a bye. You got to find
Does
a
anybody want
running back.
a
Man.
receiver that's not starting for me right now?
Does that count when Michael Thomas is not playing this week? No, I think Tua's a risk. He had a good game last week. He didn't put up over 30. He was still low. Hopkins, if you just watch the video, you'll see what I think about him.
Just watch the video.
Just watch it. Yeah, I'm not giving away secrets. Watch the video, boys. And then I think Derrick Henry, he gets caged up again. The Colts have a really good run defense. I think he has a.
Yeah, the Colts are disgusting. I don't understand where they came from.
I mean,
yeah,
the Colts know that they're giving the ball to Henry, just like the Bears knew they were giving the ball to Henry. I think it's the same idea.
Stack the box.
If he can squeak out 2-3 yard touchdowns, it's still worth having him.
Yeah, but he won't. So that's why I'm leaning more towards Gaskin.
All right.
But
We'll make this
Josh,
very.
Then?
What's that?
I said, what do you say then? Who do you
Well, so
did I put you on the spot?
you did kind of put me on the spot, but I like it because if I win this, Robbie has to eat a habanero. So I'm gonna go.
Oh.
I'm gonna go.
And if I win, Josh has to eat it. So I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly. So I'm gonna. White girls, you better not let me down.
Josh,
God, love it.
The
Put
last
Scott on
time
the
this
spot.
happened-
You're screwed.
the last time this happened, Louis had to eat the habanero. So I think it just relies on habanero bets, and you guys should do it more often.
Do I look like Louis? It's a different vibe. You know, it's not going to work out well for you.
Well, guys, with that, any last words? Birthday boy, you got any last thoughts? Do you have confidence in your own team, unlike your opponent?
My confidence is wavering a little bit. I got a little lucky the past 2 weeks. I also didn't have my full lineup, which is now kind of back, so I feel a little better about that. I think if Henry does have a good game starting on Thursday, then I think you might take it if he has one of his 30-point games. But I've had pretty good luck picking myself on this, so I'm gonna pick myself again.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to how you guys play the running back position. I feel like both those players miss, so it's just what you can do, who you can pick. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's gonna be tough.
I think the wide receivers.
Big Ben tests negative, and we don't have to worry about Tua. But you know what? We won't know till Saturday.
Yeah, but again, Big Ben does not play running back. That's
Yeah.
no.
He's not running anywhere with that bum knee.
No, the fact that he still has a leg, it's crazy. I thought I laid back and I was like, all right, I got this. And then he comes back and he's walking and I'm just like, what is going on? Crazy.
No. Get back out.
Yeah, Scott.
You sent him a
called
letter?
off on the sideline. Yeah. Like, hey, Big Ben, I need you to get back out there, bro. Okay. Just get back out there. I don't care.
I need this man.
Do it for the Rannicky. All right. Well, with that being said, guys, thank you so much. Best of luck in your game.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh, best of luck on your habanero bet. I hope you win.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I'm not looking forward to it. Don't let me down, sir.
All right, see you guys.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Have a good one.
You as well.
How do I do this again?
Every time.
There it is. There
got
it is.
No, you didn't.
There it is.
Oh, God, it's stuck there. Well, sir, that's just how it goes. So, I mean.
Oh,
did he just pick someone up?
Yeah, so we got into Ranicki's head a little bit.
You bum.
He went immediately picked up a running back.
You know what the best part about that is? Let me.
What's the best part about Wayne Gallman?
Devontae Freeman practices on limited basis. There's a chance he's active.
Oh,
Freeman's
boy.
return would send Wayne Gallman back to the bench.
Oh dear. Oh yeah.
It's been done.
It has been done. Robbie, thanks for guest hosting today. We very much appreciate it. I know Louis appreciates it. Yeah, we all appreciate it. This was a great take on some new segments here. I don't think this is something we can repeat weekly, but it definitely has given me some new ideas going forward. So thanks for your help on that.
Of course.
We have week 10 coming up. We are so close to the playoffs. Right there.
It's going to be tough down the line. Holy smokes.
Yeah, good job, Dale, and good luck, everybody else. And, of course, as always,
go sports.